Good day, everyone. It is Meredith Leon McCormick, and I am here for World Bride Magazine. And we are still locked down with this coronavirus, COVID-19. It's just, it has our lives a little flipped and turning and everything else. But the most impacted for me personally has been my industry, the bridal industry. Why do I say the most impacted? In fashion, because retailers are closing. And if you think they're suffering, the bridal industry is suffering even more. We've heard of stories of brides that are canceling their wedding, rescheduling their wedding. They just have so much anxiety and pressure on this whole virus situation that has impacted the whole world. So we wanted to bring, like I mentioned before, professionals in the wedding industry that can help ease the mind of our brides and couples that are planning their wedding. And one of them, the fashion designer of one of my favorite fashion designers of all, is Yemi Osunkoye of Kosibah. Hey, Yemi.
Hi, Meredith. Nice to have me on.
Yay! It's good to have you. How are you holding up there?
I'm actually good. You know, I've tried to keep a positive mindset. And I think, I just think there are lots of people that are in a worse position than me. So I'm just thankful. And so I'm in a good place.
That's a good attitude to have. You see the glass half full, not half empty.
Yes.
Well, and I think that has a lot to do with one of your latest clients that you were about to work with, Kelly Hall-Tompkins, the violinist. You were making her a gown, a gorgeous gown, which I cannot wait to see.
Yeah.
And you guys now have collaborated in creating Kosibah mask. Tell us a little bit about the mask.
Okay, so yes, you're right. I was in the middle of making I'd like to say a fabulous gown for Kelly when this whole lockdown situation happened. And then, it was a case of what are we going to do? So I was listening to the conference that the governor of New York made, and he talked about the fact that, masks are something that they would need. And I thought about it then, and I just mulled about it because at that time I was still into concentrating on bridal wear, but that's where the idea first came into me. So I started sort of researching the way masks look and which sort of mask I thought I would like. I again, because my whole ethos is fit and form and just things that are done really well. So I was always attracted to the masks that fit really close around the face and sort of look nice and don't have too many gaps. So roll on several weeks when I realized that this might be going on for longer than we thought. And then the rules were coming out that in order to go out, you need to wear a mask. That was a possibility. At that time, it wasn't like, the law had not been changed. And then I started trying out my masks. I made a toile in a fabric called calico, like I would do for a couture gown, and I put it on my face, and I pinned some parts just to make sure that it formed, it fit the face properly. And then Kelly and I, we chatted, and she told me about the charity she runs, she's involved with, which is the Music Kitchen. And it just blended really well. And the idea of, if I make a mask and I sell it to someone, for each mask I make a matching mask, which is donated to the Music Kitchen, and they will give it to somebody in need, because there are lots of people out there, homeless people, that are more vulnerable than people that are in a house like mine. I'm all sort of safe here.
Right.
And they're out there, so they actually need it more than most people, and they can't afford, or they might not even have access to get a mask. So it was just perfect. And I feel I'm very fortunate. I'm not in a desperate position. So making this mask wasn't about making money. It was just doing something to keep myself busy. I'm fortunate that I have equipment here.
Right.
So I have unrestricted access to my equipment.
Right.
And rather than sitting, way back I had what Netflix and all that, and to keep myself busy and to help, it ticked lots of boxes. And then we decided to collaborate, and I've been making the masks.
And I love it. So I'm going to add my 2 cents into this. So Yemi sent me a mask first because he loves me. Just that's it. And so I got this beautiful mask, very fashionable. And so for me, it wasn't just about throwing a mask on your face, because I was using the one from Home Depot that, not very fashionable, that I got when I would paint my house, or the construction workers would do something in my house. I was like, I'll throw one on. When Yemi showed me this, the ribbons, so well made, and they can be washed after every single wear, it was worth the investment. So he furthered it by sending us other designs. We had options. How many patterns did you have? Do you have?
Well, for the first set, I had 8 fabric options. Mm-hmm. And what I've decided is I just buy a yard per mm-hmm. fabric option. And once it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
So it's sort of like it's a limited range, and then I'll get some more fabrics, and then I'll say that's the set of options.
Right.
And it was really important for me to make the masks sustainable. So
right.
that's why I take my time and I make them really well, because I've seen other places where you can whisk up a mask in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Well, my masks are not like that.
Right.
Because I say once you've worn it outside, I would advise you to wash it, because the whole point of it is that, you don't know what's on the mask. So wash it, but either by hand or by the machine. Right. And for that to happen repeatedly, it has to be really robustly made.
Right.
And again, I'm the sort of person that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it really well.
Right.
So it's just the fact it's sustainable, there's no waste, and you can use it again. So, it's just something that once you've got, you can use it again, and it's not going to fall apart.
And then the other thing is, in line with your brand, you are a couturier. So everything is bespoke. So there's not 50,000 of them that's going to be made. So once we get a design and one of the from your collection, a couple of people may have it, but not too many, and that's it. So that's the quality of your brand, and why brides were shopping with you anyway, because each dress was custom made for that particular woman. So the dress I might have saw on another bride, and I say, hey, I want it, it's going to look completely different on me, because you're going to shape it to my body. You're going to add your little touch to it. And you took that on even to your own, creating the masks, which were so beautifully made, which are unisex too, because men could wear them.
Yes. When I get an order from a man, I have them in 2 slightly different sizes. So it's like a large and a medium.
Right.
So most of the ones for men will be in a large, for the woman will be a medium, but they're basically the same pattern, but just slightly tweaked. So they're slightly larger than the other.
Well, I'm happy with mine and super excited, and I am going to be gifting it to friends. And we at World Bride Magazine are encouraging all our brides to support you and your cause and your partnership with the Music Kitchen and Kelly. And, we think that's so honorable. And one of the things that you did text me, you said, it's tedious work, but it's fulfilling. And to me, that's what makes it even more touching. So everybody, I am going to post it down here where you can go and contact Yemi directly to order your mask. And note, for each mask you purchase, one will be donated free to someone that is living in a shelter, a New Yorker in need, through the Music Kitchen. So we're happy to support in any which way. And World Bride Magazine is putting our money where our mouth is, and we have ordered ours, and we will continue to order for every New Yorker that's in need, and we ask your support. So thank you for that, Yemi.
You're welcome.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is, because we're a wedding magazine and you're a bridal designer first, of course you can do other things. Can you tell us what has been the challenges that you've been facing during this coronavirus, COVID-19? How has it affected your business?
Yes, it's really surreal the way the whole thing just unfolded bit by bit because I remember when I think it was February, and we went for a meeting with the Bridal Council. Yeah. So we were aware of what was happening, but it was happening in China. Yeah. But it affected the bridal industry because at that time it was a case of dresses coming from China.
Right.
That were being delayed because China was shut down. Right. But the feeling was there that, well, it was becoming like a pandemic. It was getting out of China, and it might affect the bridal exhibitions that were coming on. That was the issue then.
Right.
Then at that time, though I specialize in couture bridal wear, I was in the process of setting the steps to creating a ready-to-wear line. And I'd got the designs, and I was sorting out the fabrication and the backing and everything. And then that's when the lockdown happened.
Yeah. And I think even then, a slightly bit before, Italy impacted, because you were looking at Italy to get your collection made with your partnership with Mark Ingram. You guys were talking about that.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. So, that's correct. And so I was just in the middle of something quite exciting happening when the shutdown happened. So initially I was a bit despondent. I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then I realized that, well, first of all, it's just not me. It's happening to everybody. And this is a time when we should come together, when, people should be compassionate, people should be empathetic. And, so in terms of my couture bride, I talk to them in terms of whether they're postponing their weddings or not. And most of the people that would be creating the ready-to-wear, everything was shuttered.
Right.
So it was initially quite difficult, but again, I'm using this period of pause, which we are all going through, to sort of improve my skills. So, for example, I'm very good at drawing by hand. That's where my talent started. That led me into going into fashion. But I am now trying to improve that in terms of computer-aided design. I'm doing a course on illustration, and just I've been listening to lots of webinars, Instagram lives, and just absorbing as much information as possible, because before this, we've all been so busy that we haven't had time to just take a step back and reevaluate and just think about our business and work on the business as opposed to working in the business.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm just reviewing business plan, and so that when this is over, we're good to go. However, one has to realize that the world as we knew it before is changed forever.
Yes.
Because until there is a vaccine, which no matter how optimistic we are, might take some time, and we have to prepare ourselves for that. If something comes quicker, then that's a bonus, that's fantastic. But we have to prepare ourselves for the fact that this might go on much longer.
Yeah.
So if everything is opened up tomorrow, people are still going to be very nervous.
Absolutely.
So lots of people have lost their jobs. Those that haven't lost their jobs are still quite nervous financially.
Right.
So the era of huge extravagance, that probably will be tempered for the immediate future. We as bridal designers or people in the wedding industry have to sort of prepare ourselves for that, which is why the idea of the ready-to-wear collection is actually great, because it's of a lower price point to be available to lots more people. And also the idea of traveling and going to long distances, people are not really going to want to do that.
Yeah, not for a while. I think everybody's going to be wants to be a little bit closer to home, wherever their home may be, because they don't know the steps in line in whatever other location, so they don't want to risk themselves. And the other conversation Mark, Ingram and I had pertaining to this, and you're absolutely right. That's why I know you guys are perfect for each other. You know, brides are going to have more intimate soirees. So even if, you know, they have a garden wedding or an intimate wedding, the dress may not be as elaborate or long and big and grand, but they're not going to compromise on quality. That is not going to happen. I don't believe so. And I think now the whole wedding process of planning will no longer be a rush process. It is going to be something well thought after. It's going to be something that the bride is going to want intimate time with you, the designer, and know that, hey, listen, I'm going to buy this dress that I've invested in. And Mark also suggested that they'll have this small, maybe 40, 50 of their family members, small, keep it under that. And then next year, when things get better, rewear that same fabulous dress again and throw a big shing-ding party, you know, when they feel a little bit more comfortable. So, you know, one of the things that I want to encourage our readers and viewers is, when you go and meet someone like a Yemi Kosibah, and you know, and you go and you try on a dress and they give you a price, as something as simple as a mask, if he's investing this much time and energy, it's threefold, 3 layers. How much do you think he's really investing in your wedding gown? The only thing you're going to have memorable during this whole crisis, after this crisis, so it will be worth the investment. So tell us a little bit about the ready-to-wear collection. What do we have to look forward to? You know, tell us.
It's a 9-piece collection, which includes a variety of silhouettes, and I'm also introducing a pantsuit, which is just a new one for me, because previous to now I've just never done trousers. But the bride I'm thinking about is, again, you know, someone, you know, like people that are on the front line, you know, like nurses and doctors and people that are, you know, quite hardworking and, you know, really appreciate the money they have and will think very carefully about spending it. So, you know, fabrication, beautiful fabrics, but not too much in terms of elaborate embellishments, but the little that are there are quite striking.
Right.
And I also think that now brides would like the idea of maybe having some sort of color into the dresses. Now, before COVID, I hadn't thought of that. But I am thinking that now, if a bride is going to get married, first of all, it's going to be a smaller wedding, and you're going to have people that mean a lot to them. Right. But the good thing about having a small wedding is that you can then get elements to create something that looks really luxe, because when the people there, the amount of people are reduced, the cost per head is reduced, but then you can then go slightly more, you can get the weddings of your dreams because you're not catering for 100 people, you're catering for a smaller amount of people, and you're probably doing it in a smaller space. So rather than doing things like flowers and florals for 100 tables, you're doing them for maybe 10 tables.
Right.
And therefore, your budget might be reduced, but you can do more. So the same thing might happen with the dress. But I am thinking that even psychologically, it might help a bride to know, this is a fantastic dress I'm making, but I might have the occasion to wear it again. So there might be some elements that come up. Now, the reality is that she might not wear it again, but just the knowledge that she may wear it again would help to justify why, they would pay that much. But also for practical reasons, this is a gown that can morph into evening wear. So that's why the silhouette is more straight and streamlined, which will then lend itself to a smaller venue, because you don't want the dress, being overpowering everything else.
Right.
It has to be, everything is just on a smaller scale, but the beauty and the quality is not reduced.
Right. And you know what? As you describe this beautiful soiree and the dress or the pantsuit, because I would do a pantsuit, it reminds me of one of my favorite designers, Chanel, Coco Chanel. When she showed her collection, it was in her home.
Yes.
In her home in Paris. And there was an invitation sent out exclusively to a set number of people. It wasn't accessible to everybody, and that's not who you are, you as a designer. And it's okay,
Yes.
You're not going to attract everyone, and everyone's going to be attracted by it. But at the end of the day, I have to ask myself, am I worth this investment? And that's personal. That's a personal choice. No one can make that for anyone. So the intimacy of what you're offering is really special, and something that I'm looking forward to coming back, which also brings to mind that the fact that the pieces that you're creating, the pantsuit for myself, I can see somebody wearing that to a cocktail party, the opera, dinner, because they're going to be pieces and different things that are elaborate to it, but at the end of the day, it's still going to read beautifully as a wedding piece. Beautifully. Yeah, I'm so excited about the collection. Do you want to share with us the name of the collection?
Yes. Now, the name, I thought real and hard, and it sort of lends itself to what's happening now. So it's actually called Asheyori. And Asheyori is a Yoruba word which means resilience. Resilience over adversity. When you have a difficult period, but you overcome that, and you overcome it with a new sense of purpose. I think that just encompasses the way I feel about the collection, and that's why I've named it Asheyori. And it's also I'm going back to my heritage, my Nigerian heritage, and so for lots of reasons, it's a very special, celebratory name for this collection. Which, when we come out of, post-COVID, we will still celebrate. Love will always be there. In fact, people are going to appreciate the love they have and want to be with loved ones, and the collection lends itself to that.
Oh, and I think so. And the other topic that Mark and I discussed was the fact that we think weddings are going to skyrocket, because for people that were alone, they don't want to be alone coming out of this at all. You realize now, like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be alone. And I think that tragedy hit reality, or became reality for us, when we kept hearing in the news so many people dying alone, which is sad. But there were those couples that had been married for years, and they each went to the hospital. And one couple in particular, I think that CBS reported, they wheeled the couple in and they died together. and they
Yeah.
have been married for over 30 years or so. So it's intimate things like that that makes you realize and rethink life and what really matters, you know, and it goes beyond just the thing. It's more than the occasion. So the celebration of a wedding is life, it's family, it's new life, it's new beginnings.
Yeah.
So when we look back at the picture, personally, I don't want to remember the negative part of COVID. I want to remember, hey, something great came out of it, you know. And so this collection I'm super excited about. And
something else I also wanted to mention was that this whole situation brought up sharply the disadvantage of having something made very far away from where you are. Very proud that my gowns are going to be, both the fabrics and where they're made is all here in the United States, actually in New York.
right.
Because again, and that lends itself to, not having a wide carbon footprint,
Right.
because it's all this thing to do with sustainability, you know, and the reassurance that you don't have to worry that, you know, the dress is coming from some far country. This has really unnerved people.
Right.
Nobody wants to be in that position again.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud that I'm also going to, you know, people that are in here in the States, in Manhattan in particular, are going to get work from my dresses, making them, and it's all made here. And also it just helps me to deal with the quality control, because that's the thing about me. It's taken me a long time to get my head around giving away some control, which I couture to ready to wear, because I think I'm the only one that can do it, but that's not true. But you still have to do it for us. Yeah, but you still have to be able to supervise the quality control without having to hop on a plane and go to some other country. So I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it special, because as soon as you came to America, you hit the ground running and everybody was obsessed with you. So now you've just given our brides, American brides, reassurance that it's made at home, it's going to stay here for your American brides. And I know already your brides in Nigeria already feel that. You know, they know when you're home, you're there, you're doing that. And when you go to
England as well.
And they know, hey, when you still have your atelier there, from what I remember.
In London, yes.
Yeah, so you are, each of your brides in whatever region you're in, they know for a fact that they're not waiting for something to be shipped and whatever. That is not the challenge that you face, which makes bespoke even more special, more worth the investment. There is not that anxiety of mass production and waiting and hoping, and yeah, it's done. Thank you so much, Yemi. Is there any encouragement that you want to, besides that, which was a great piece, and give our brides in regards to dealing with this COVID-19 coronavirus situation, to make them feel better and reassure them that you are there for them?
Yes, so what I want to tell them, that first of all, we're all in this together. It's nothing personal to them. We're all in it together. And speaking for myself and also for wedding vendors, we really are bending over backwards to be there for our clients. This is a time of, as I said, of empathy. This is a time of just going out of our way to reassure our current brides and also our future brides, you know. And we are going to try and do everything we can to just make the experience as stress-free as we can. Brides that have weddings, you know, that are postponed, it's okay. You are still getting married to the person that loves you. And when the time comes, you'll actually appreciate it more. If you have to get married during a weekday or a Sunday, it's fine. The traditions of the past are the past. It's a
Absolutely.
new reality. So lots of other people are going to get married during the week. Lots of other people are going to get married on Sundays. And the reality is that the people coming to your wedding are going to be people that love you and people that are really close to you. So it's not like you have to deal with hundreds of guests.
Right.
New guests that love you will come anytime you tell them to come because they are there for you.
Absolutely.
And with regards to getting your dress made, we are going to take extra care. Um, you know, social distancing. I'm going to do quite a lot of Zoom consultations.
Right.
And also, if we're going to go to an atelier, that's why I'm really glad that I have a relationship with Mark Ingram, because again, he has a perfect setting. The days when you have lots of people coming to a shop, that's not the situation. You know, it's by appointment. There are not many people there. It's clean. So the bride is just going to be very reassured.
Right.
And you just have to know that we have that at the back of our minds, that your health and safety and your comfort and just everything we are doing everything we can to make you comfortable.
And I'm so proud of that. Proud to be working with you and your encouragement to all these brides, because I see their anxiety, I hear it, and they're frantic. They don't know what to do. And then, we had the luxury of viewing a wedding on Zoom, and she was happy because she was marrying the love of her life, and she made the best of her situation. Not everybody's going to choose to have a Zoom wedding, and that's okay. And it's okay, and nobody should be shamed if they do choose to have a Zoom wedding. But it's nice to know from people like you, Mark Ingram, and David, of David Anthony with his venues that we also had an opportunity to interview, that you guys are bending over backwards to accommodate these brides, because it is the one moment that they will forever be etched in their minds, and I want the best memory of my wedding, no matter what, so it's reassuring, and I hope our brides are reassured. So can you please give us your website so everybody can follow you on your social media and your website?
Okay, so my website is kosibah.com, spelled like that, .com. And on social media, it's Yemi Kosibah, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. It's Yemi Kosibah. So I'm very easy to find, and I'm very interactive because I appreciate social media. So when you get in touch with me, I reply very quickly. I welcome inquiries. So yeah, Kosibah.com or Yemi Kosibah on all social media platforms.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Yemi. And I am so excited about my mask. Even to my backyard, I'm putting on my mask. This is just so sexy.
Thank you very much,
Thank you. All right, everyone, there you have it, Kosibah.com. I'm going to have the information for you right down here so you can contact Yemi, and he is right when he says he responds immediately. He truly does. So any bridal questions that you may have, please don't hesitate to ask. And considering if everything opens up, or at least slowly opens up at the end of May, early June, he will keep you posted with the new collection, the ready to wear. And for all of you first responders, please know that you are loved and encouraged. And Kosibah has a beautiful line that you can pick and order from that is within all of your price budgets. So that is his contribution to you. So please take advantage of it. And for all of you other brides that are looking for something simpler and want to just be elegant and chic in your home wedding or your small intimate wedding, please check out the Kosibah collection. All right, so we will have all the information down here. Until the next time, stay safe. Bye. Bye, Yemi.
Bye, Meredith. Thank you very much.